What is going on, everybody? If you just came from my MotoTalk response, you'll notice it is literally 2 seconds later. Yes, I am diving right in this. I want to listen to some music. We're just going to knock these vlogs out today. For those of you who are just chiming in for the very first time, what is happening now is a fellow motovlogger, Goatfather, who I'll put the link right there, started this idea of MotoTalk. Now what MotoTalk is, it's kind of a way for, us, for the most part, up-and-coming vloggers to be able to communicate with each other via vlogging. So the way this is working out right now is that there is a schedule out for 4 of us, Goatfather, SoCalNinjaRider, 4 and 6 Ninja, and myself. And every single week, one of the individuals is supposed to create a topic. What they do is they create a topic, post their video, call on other vloggers, potentially new vloggers to come in, and then those people will post a response. The same happens week after week after week. So theoretically, these vloggers should be posting, 2 videos a week, either response videos or response in a new topic video. So this week is my week, and I want to talk a little bit about riding and driving perception since owning a motorcycle. This is going to be for people who are riding or have ridden a motorcycle before. It could probably even pertain to people who've just taken a class. So, this is going to be episode 6 of MotoTalks. My topic today is perception of riding and driving. But yeah, so we're going to go over your perception of driving and riding a bike. Again, this is pretty much just for those who ride. So those who are subscribers to any of the channels of the vloggers that are going to be responding to this, it should be a decent topic to actually listen to, coming from a perspective of somebody who rides. Now there's a couple things that have changed since I've ridden, or since I started riding. First of all, it's going to be how I ride. Now, when I got my bike, I had never been on a bike before. I didn't grow up riding dirt bikes or anything like that. I was brand new to it. Never even sat on a motorcycle until my MSF course. Now, before I got on a motorcycle, I had a certain perception of what seemed fast to me. I currently have a crossover SUV, crossover SUV, whatever you want to call it. I have a 2007 Infiniti FX35, and it's got a aftermarket catback exhaust and stuff that you don't need that makes you feel like you're going faster than you are. I used to genuinely think that my car was fast. And once I got on a bike, realized that, majority of cars aren't as fast as people think they are. Not only are they not as fast, but they're not meant to go fast. If I'm in my car and I'm doing 80 to 100 miles an hour, it feels like you're going 80 to 100 miles an hour. The car's got that vibration, I don't know if I should be doing this. But you go 100 miles on a bike, it's like, this is cool. Are we just gonna chill here? Are we gonna go a little faster? So that's the first thing I get. Also, since we're talking about the perception of speed, again, no experience on a bike, but I used to think that, when you see a bike fly by you going 100 miles an hour, in my mind, I thought it was kind of cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought it was cool back in the day when I was a kid, seeing bikes fly by. And I used to think it was cool, but crazy reckless, seeing a bike go 100 miles an hour. Now that I own a bike that can do 100 miles an hour comfortably, it's really not as crazy as you would think. I can go 100 miles an hour and have one hand on my handlebar and feel perfectly fine. You would think it'd be the opposite, where you're on a bike and you're open to everything, oh my god, 100 miles an hour must feel crazy. It feels fast, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like the bike is pushing it so you don't feel uncomfortable. Whereas a car going that fast, it feels a little uncomfortable because it's not meant to do that, and therefore it kind of gives you a little instability. So that's one thing. People who see bikes flying by, yeah, it is kind of reckless, I agree. Am I guilty of it? Yes, sometimes. Like right now. speed was at 86. I mean, one hand, I don't feel like crazy uncomfortable at all. This is not a big deal. So people, when they see people with one hand, don't feel like they have a death wish, because that's really not the case at all. But yeah. So that's one thing, is speed. And the second big thing I want to talk about is how I drive and ride. I know you see a lot of people, or a lot of moto vloggers, you know, showing people on their phones and how poorly they drive. I think it's gonna slow down up here. We'll wait until we get a little wind noise. Well, this is about as quiet as we're gonna get, I think. So the next thing I want to talk about is how I drive and how I ride. So talking about people on their phones, yes, I used to be a victim of being on my phone time to time in my car. For the most part, everybody has done it at some point or another. It's just really a matter of how frequently you do it. That's one thing I notice, is you notice how many people claim that they're not bad drivers are on the phone, and then when you watch, they don't think they're bad drivers because they don't think like going over a lane by a foot is necessarily bad if they pop right back. So that being said, there's a lot of bad drivers on phones. Don't be fooled. I don't go out of my way to tell people to put their phone down. If somebody comes into my lane and it makes me have to make a decision of what I'm going to do next, then yeah, I'm going to look at them and I'm going to tell them to put their phone down. But I don't start like a big confrontation with these people, because people are just A, stupid, B, crazy, and C, not worth it. You know, it's just not worth the hassle. You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, when you ride a motorcycle, you have to be cautious of everything. You have to know, you kind of you start predicting what cars are going to do. If you're coming up on a car, you know, you're thinking of where it could go, and you just see moves in advance is really what it comes down to. Not quite like race car status where people, you know, see their moves in advance, but you start to see and figure out pretty quickly, you know, where cars are going to go. And when you start riding, because you see that, you actually bring that into the car. So when I'm driving my car, I see the road so much differently than I used to the point where I'm like looking ahead. A, I'm looking at like gaps that I can hit with my motorcycle for some stupid reason. But aside from that, you know, you're like, all right, well, this asshole's on his phone. He's clearly going to come over now. And it's like, boop, there he goes. It's just really interesting to see how your driving skills and how you see things on the road differently after you ride a motorcycle. I've also tried hard to not ever really use my phone in my car, because I don't want to be a hypocrite and give people shit for using their phone, and then I go in my car, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start texting now. Again, emergencies, I do it. It happens, I understand that, but there's a difference sitting in traffic, holding a conversation, and being like, hey, you're in the hospital, do I need to come there? I mean, there's a difference. So yeah, I'm just really curious to see how people who have started riding or have been riding kind of view the road, driving, people driving, you know, people's bad habits, good habits. Obviously in Illinois, it's not legal to lane split, so when I'm driving a car, I can't like pull over if I see a bike coming. But, you know, if you live in Cali, do you pull over when you're in your car for bikes, or, you know, what do you do differently that you maybe weren't doing prior to getting a bike? And to be honest, I really wish that it was almost mandatory for people to take a motorcycle class. And I'm not just saying for people who want to ride. I'm saying in general, because when people understand the risks that are taken on a bike and how much people endanger people by doing their stupid shit, I think the road would just be a safer place. You know, when people realize that, oh my god, maybe texting is kind of shitty. I mean, nobody does anything until it's just too late, which is, I mean, unfortunate, but it's the truth. I'm not dumb, I understand, but it's just different. I see a lot of things on the road differently prior to being on a bike, and I was just kind of curious, you know, if people kind of had the same thought process on that, or if I'm just kind of out on my own. I don't know. So who am I going to call out for this? I'm going to call out 4 and 6 Ninja, Goatfather, SoCalNinjaRider, and my good buddy Stkikeontwowheels. Hopefully you guys will have a couple other added things to say about this. You know, I only have a couple points on it, but I mean, I feel like just the way I drive is pretty significantly different than how I used to. Not to say that I was a bad driver, but I mean, you just started seeing things in a different light, and you know, kind of opened my eyes up a little bit. So I'm real curious to hear what you guys have to say on that. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and get some comments below. I would love to hear some people's thoughts who ride, who don't ride, and any topics of maybe people watch motovloggers and they're like, you know what, because I watch motovloggers, I'm way more aware of bikes now and stuff like that. So I'm just really interested to hear people's perception on this. Alright everybody, well, that is going to conclude episode 6. I'm sorry dude. I'm an asshole. That is going to conclude episode 6 of MotoTalks. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.